Soo returned home after a tiring day of studying, but he never expected that day to become the darkest of his life. His only relative had mysteriously hanged himself. He recalled the suspicious figure he had met in the elevator. No matter how much he fought it, the case was ultimately ruled a suicide. Soo refused to accept reality. Determined to study and become a true police officer, he possesses a special ability, being able to restart time before a victim's death due to a delay. Thanks to this, he successfully saved victims, solving cases from simple to complex. He also constantly reminded himself to one day find the killer and avenge his father's death. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support the Manhwa channel. A young man walked with an umbrella. On a cold and rainy night, he dragged his heavy feet exhaustedly. The young man climbed the damp steps one by one. He had finally arrived back at his apartment complex. The elevator chimed softly as the doors opened on the 7th floor. The student stepped out with a weary face. Across from him was a strange man, completely covered up, with only his eyes visible in the dim floor light. He walked straight inside without hesitation, and this appearance made the student suspicious. Who is this guy? He had never seen this person on this floor before. The encounter kept him thinking all the way to his door. After a long day of studying, everything was over. The young man opened the door and announced he was home. Before he could finish his sentence, the sight before him left him completely stunned. A rope was tied securely to the ceiling. A man was dangling in midair, having taken his own life, and he collapsed in horror on the cold floor. As time passed like the wind, at a loud and bustling dinner party, Soo was now a police officer in the Major Crimes Unit. Half awake and slumped over a table, suddenly a voice rang out, startling him upright. "My dear friends, on this beautiful day, let's drink and be merry. Hey, what's with this atmosphere? Your big brother here got promoted today. Let me treat you guys." Bottoms up, the man in glasses cheerfully raised his glass. "It's really Dong Nam Cheol. Today we put our faith in Nam Cheol." As he was sipping his beer, a man in a sharp suit approached and sat across from Soo. Jang Soo sat down and said calmly, "I didn't expect you to come." Soo's disdain was clear on his face. "Huang Jiangsu, it's because of you that I had to come. Since high school, Huang Jiangsu and I used to train together at the same gym. We were always together and called the dynamic duo. But we lost touch for a long time after graduation. Recently I heard he quit his career as a professional athlete and became a gangster, so I attended this class reunion I never go to check for myself." Soo frowned and told him, "I don't want to sit at the same table as a gangster." This statement clearly wounded the other man's pride, but he maintained a friendly demeanor. "Alright, a cop and a gangster sitting together doesn't look good. But since I heard about it, I can't just ignore it. If you need quick cash, contact me. Since we're friends, I won't charge you interest." With that, he offered Soo his business card. Soo immediately swatted Jiangsu's hand away. The card flew and landed on the ground. "I wouldn't take a gangster's money, even if I starved to death. So get lost." He remained silent, contemplating the protagonist for a long moment. Finally, he stood up and adjusted his suit jacket. "Well, I'll be going then." Soo was left alone, rubbing his head in exhaustion. Suddenly, Nam Cheol came over and sat in front of Soo. "Long time no see. Are you still freeloading at Chaeyeon's place?" The young man retorted with an unhappy expression. "So what? What's it to you?" The other guy was relentless. "You want to keep freeloading in your girlfriend's tiny house that badly? Are you broke?" That comment made Soo suspicious. "How do you know my place is cramped?" Nam Cheol immediately averted his gaze and looked elsewhere. "Who? Of course, at our age, our places aren't very spacious. A newcomer to the workforce can't afford a big fancy house. Hey, I heard you have a nickname as the cop who uses excessive force. Our station is buzzing about it too. You're even in debt for thousands of won in compensation. Always living with a docked salary. You need your big bro to help you out a bit," Soo said while pointing at the other man. "Compared to a gangster's money. Money from scumbags like you is even filthier." Nam Cheol stood up and smoothed his hair. "Anyway, from high school until now, you've had nothing. Only your pride is sky high. You've been working for almost 7 years. Shouldn't you know your place by now? That's why you're still living this pathetic life. Chaeyoon shouldn't be with a guy like you." He couldn't control himself anymore and crushed the beer glass in his hand. Dong Nam Cheol. His bloodied hand grabbed the man's collar. Soo brought his face close with furious eyes. "That's enough. Those who have committed many crimes shouldn't provoke the police. Make sure to subscribe to the Manhwa channel so you don't miss the thrilling developments ahead." The other guy immediately trembled, thinking to himself, "That's right, he knows everything. About how I made the successful applicant fail, so I could be the supplementary recruit for the police academy." Then he remembered the last court hearing. The distressed girl stood up abruptly. "I'm the real victim here. A female officer was sexually harassed, but she was the one who was disciplined, while I got promoted thanks to my father's reputation, provoking the top-performing students. Since there's no proof, I can't be attacked like a rabid dog. But if I keep causing trouble, I'll be the one to suffer. Seeing his opponent pale with fear, Hae-soo cheerfully shoved him back onto his seat and said, "Enjoy your drink, Dong Nam Cheol." Hae-soo's hand came up to pat his shoulder like a threat. Nam Cheol gritted his teeth. A bastard like him dares to do that. Outside the bar, a bright sign lit up the night sky. Hae-soo leaned against a car, smoking a cigarette in a small alley. His heart was filled with thoughts. Me too. 12 years ago, after my father was murdered, and the scene was staged as a suicide, I became a police officer with the goal of finding the killer, but now I'm just a lowly cop working to pay off debts. When suddenly a voice cut through his thoughts. "Did you call for a designated driver?" Hae-soo handed the keys to the strange man. "You got here fast." The car sped through the pouring rain. The driver tried to make small talk with him. "Is this your wife?" A picture of a beautiful girl taking a selfie was stuck to the car's display. The drunk young man cracked his eyes open to reply, "That's my girlfriend." After saying that, he closed his eyes to rest, but the driver complimented the girl. "She's really pretty. And has a great figure too. It's a shame for such a woman to have a good-for-nothing boyfriend." That statement agitated Hae-soo, and his eyes flew open. "What did you just say?" The man looked into the front mirror and played dumb. "Who?" "I didn't say anything." The car continued to roll steadily down the road. The protagonist watched the raindrops splattering against the window. The driver brought up the old topic again. "Your girlfriend must be really good in bed. Her pose looks so athletic." Hae-soo couldn't take it anymore and bit his lip hard. "Hey, stop the car now," he asked innocently. "What?" The enraged young man lunged forward. "I said stop the car." Fearing violence, the driver warned him. "I get it, just use your words." "Use your words." The car braked sharply and pulled over to the side of the road. The young man got out, walked to the driver's side door, and yelled, "Get out." But the designated driver showed no fear as he opened the door and stepped out. Yeah, you bastard. You're telling me to get out in the rain," he said while rummaging in his jacket pocket. Hae-soo tried to remain calm to find a solution. "Apologize and let's go." "While I'm still being nice." The designated driver pulled out a dagger and lunged at him. "You were going to die anyway." "You animal." The protagonist quickly dodged the surprise attack. A knife. He was even carrying a knife on him. The important thing now is to subdue him. Hae-soo threw a straight punch to his face, sending the opponent staggering backward. A few broken teeth and blood mixed with the cold rain. The driver stumbled unsteadily. He had no intention of letting his opponent off and moved closer. "Get up. This fight isn't over yet." The man didn't move, which made Hae-soo sense that something was wrong. He slowly stepped closer. Damn it. Why did he have to be here? When he looked at the back of his head, a pool of blood was spreading. He stumbled back in fear. Is he dead? Hae-soo tried to calm himself down and took his phone out of his pocket. He quickly dialed the familiar emergency medical number. Before he could press the call button, another unknown number called him. Hae-soo felt a bit tense and wondered, "Who is this?" Then he answered the phone. The person on the other end spoke. "Yes, this is Pal Designated Driving Service. Sorry, I'm late. I was waiting but didn't see you. Where are you right now?" The words he just heard were like a thunderclap to Hae-soo. What? What is this mystery? Hit like and subscribe now on the Manhwa channel so you don't miss the next chapter. Hae-soo's breathing grew more and more rapid. Then, who is this bastard? He stood watching the imposter in the rain. A designated driver would never carry a knife. Recently, there have been many crimes targeting drunk people to rob them while pretending to be drivers. I can't believe I fell for it. Hae-soo looked at his phone screen. Then he glanced around. It's fine. No witnesses. No cameras. With rain like this, bloodstains won't be a big problem either. Bury him or report it. First, should I move him? But what about my job as a police officer? What about my father's killer? At the same time, a delivery truck was speeding through the rain. Hae-soo was still calculating anxiously. Did anyone see? There are no streetlights and the heavy rain impairs visibility. So no one could have seen. What should I do? Bury him. Or dump him in the sea. It's hard to bury him without a shovel, and it would take a lot of time. If I want to create an alibi, then. His thoughts were a tangled mess. Stop. Even though he was a criminal who tried to kill me, the fact that I beat him to death is clear. If I confess, I will be dismissed from the police force and could face years in prison. But if I cover up this murder, do I deserve to pursue the person who killed my father? He took a deep breath and bravely called the emergency medical service. The other end picked up quickly. Yes. This is 119. Jesus clenched his fist to stay calm. Yes. There's a dead person here. Injured. The location is. After the call, the protagonist slumped down in exhaustion. Then he made another call. The person on the other end answered gruffly. What? What is it? He bowed his head, uttering each painful word. Let's break up. The girl on the other end was nonchalant. What? So suddenly? Did he already tell you? Jesus was stunned. The girlfriend, knowing she'd been caught, said spitefully. He just told me. The protagonist took a wild guess. Could it be Dongnam Cheol? She shot up from her seat. What? You said it, but you don't know. The young man wasn't surprised. I thought it was impossible. But you said you hated cops, yet you're cheating on me with one, the shameless girlfriend replied, as if she'd found a better deal. He's different from you. He isn't as busy with his police job and he makes more money, even after being cheated on. The main character just smirked indifferently. Hanging up, he lit a cigarette to warm his body. Suddenly the man beside him started breathing heavily. He struggled for each breath, as if fighting for his life. Jesus quickly took off his jacket and wrapped it around the imposter's head. A head injury. Why didn't I think of that? Please don't die. The bleeding from the wound had stopped. The rain continued to fall heavily. The paramedics arrived with a stretcher. Please step aside. They began performing CPR. After the surgery, the doctor came out to announce the current condition. The patient's life is not in danger, but there is minor brain damage. We need to monitor his condition. The police officer standing nearby ordered Jesus. Officer Shin. Let's go. A small mistake brought about a terrible consequence. The judge stood and read the verdict. The defendant Shin Jesus is sentenced for assault, causing injury to 3 years in prison, along with being dismissed from the police force, and despair was waiting for him. The protagonist was led away just like the criminals he had put in prison, and now he had to face them. As they jeered and taunted, well, who do we have here? Isn't this Officer Shin Jesus? I'm so happy to see you again, your honorable officer. The one who broke 8 of my teeth. When it rains, the right arm that Officer Shin broke aches endlessly. But it seems better now, the man inside the cell recounted. He also broke my nose, so I still can't smell properly. The officer leading him stopped at a cell door. Please enter. The 4 inmates immediately turned to look with excitement. The afternoon sun set on a prison. Isolated from the outside world, Jesus wearily carried 2 bags of trash to throw out. While he was distracted, a group of inmates with wooden clubs approached him. Officer Shin. So nice to see you in here. Do you remember me? Is the food here to your liking? But the protagonist paid them no mind and finished his work. Then he turned and glared at them with a deathly stare. They trembled in fear, because those were the same eyes that had tormented and imprisoned them. That guy's eyes. The bearded man quickly composed himself and challenged him. You think you're still a cop in here? The inmate with bangs held a sharp piece of glass. If you fight in here, you're just asking to die. He immediately roared. Kill him. The whole group rushed him from all sides. The bald man swung straight at his head. Blood trickled down from his forehead. A chubby-faced man cursed. This son of a bitch. 2 or 3 more rushed in to hit him with their clubs. Jesus gritted his teeth and endured. How did it come to this? They kicked him in the shins. He fell to his knees only to be kicked straight in the face. The bearded man raised his wooden club high and swung down with all his might. The protagonist questioned himself. Is this the end? Then he blocked it with his bare hands. His hand was bleeding again. Jesus was slowly going mad and said aloud, I don't know either. My life isn't over yet. I have to get up. But the wooden club showed him no mercy and struck his head once more. It's not over yet. As he finished speaking, a few raindrops began to fall. Jesus was stunned and touched his head. Huh. What's this? Rain. This situation is familiar. Across from him once again was the imposter holding a sharp knife. Has this crazy bastard lost his mind after seeing a knife? He defended himself while thinking. It's that day. I don't know what happened, but he humiliated me. It's that very day. Seeing him about to charge, Jesus quickly stopped him. Don't. He immediately threw his hand out, knocking his opponent backward. He fell straight to the ground. With a policeman's instinct, he immediately subdued the imposter, leaving him stunned. This isn't. The protagonist twisted his arm and forced the man forward. Since you wielded a knife, this is self-defense. Why didn't I realize it back then? The man was both in pain and angry that his plan had failed. What? What crazy nonsense are you talking about? Are you saying you can get away with excessive force? Jesus pushed him down hard onto the ground. Then he reported it. I am Lieutenant Shin Jesus of the Major Crimes Unit. I am reporting an incident of attempted aggravated assault. The location is. This information made the imposter stare in shock. Damn it. He's a cop. Shit. He conveniently pulled out his handcuffs and cuffed the criminal's hands. He left the man lying in the middle of the road with a pleading voice. Officer, can you help me take care of this? I'll make it worth your while. What do you say? Jesus turned and walked away, his mind in turmoil. What on earth is going on? Even if it was a dream, every moment felt too real. His phone rang again. The person on the other end spoke. Yes, this is Paul Designated Driving Service. I'm a little late. I was waiting but didn't see you. Where are you right now? Jesus hung up. Looking at the phone in his hand, he was still in shock. What in the world is happening? Could it be that God took pity on me and gave me another chance? He calmly dialed another number. The other end still answered gruffly. What? The protagonist stood defiantly in the rain and said 3 words. Let's break up, she asked in surprise. What? So suddenly? Did he already tell you? The young man replied coldly. Yeah, thanks. I'll come get my things tomorrow. The police car had also arrived. The result satisfied Jesus, so the incident was handed over to the local police. And this time I was released on grounds of self-defense. The officer in charge suspected him and ordered a search of the designated driver's house. The police searched around and then reported. This was found in the designated driver's carry-on luggage. Captain, please take a look at this. Jesus recounted. Items belonging to recent murder victims were discovered there. His predatory diary detailed how he approached me, as well as specifics about the weapon. His original plan was to kill me in the parking lot, then follow the GPS to my house to rape and kill my girlfriend. Unfortunately for him, he ran into me and was caught before he could properly wield his knife, finally closing the unsolved serial murder case. Everything after that went smoothly. I just had my 3-month disciplinary action for excessive force lifted and received a 1-rank promotion as a reward. A young man in a white shirt from the same unit voiced the protagonist's feelings. Still no promotion though. What a shame. Is there any cop who's as good at catching criminals as Officer Shin? The team captain chimed in. That's the problem. That's exactly the problem. It's not that he's good at catching them. It's that he's too heavy-handed, that's the issue. Otherwise, he'd probably have made colonel by now. The young man in the sweater turned his head and asked, Captain, aren't you exaggerating a bit? The man in the white shirt offered a steaming hot cup of coffee and asked quietly, Officer Shin, are you disappointed? Jesus hesitated for a few seconds. Well, it's lucky I wasn't considered to have used excessive force. The answer surprised his colleague, who exclaimed, What a generous person. Not everyone can catch a serial killer. The captain had to applaud in admiration. Hey, Officer Shin has gotten a lot nicer. He just silently took a sip of coffee. Lost in thought. I never thought a day like this would come in my life. If this is the last chance God has given me, I'll definitely take it. Saturday arrived, and the host made an announcement. We will now begin the drawing for the Daehan Bank Lottery, number 1042. Jesus clutched the lottery ticket tightly in his hand and pleaded desperately. Please, help me solve my debt problems. The numbers were announced on the television. This time's winning numbers are 43, 28. The lottery ticket was a loser. The young man angrily threw it straight into the trash can, muttering curses under his breath. Then he thought to himself, 8, 3. Good. I've memorized them all. Please, one more time. He clasped his hands to his forehead in fervent prayer. I want to go back. Please take me back to the past. Please. A cleaning lady passing by was suddenly startled. Who's coming back? Why are you shouting while eating? Everything crushed Jesus' hopes. I prayed more sincerely than before, but nothing happened. At the police station, someone passing by announced, Jesus, the police chief is looking for you. I felt a strange feeling. What? The chief is looking for me. The captain was also surprised. What's going on? He hasn't caused any trouble. The person who announced it guessed. Maybe it's about a promotion. He found it hard to believe. A promotion. The protagonist didn't bother with guessing anymore and immediately stood up. He walked straight to the man's office door. Chief, you were looking for me. The man sat comfortably reading a newspaper. So, how many days are left in March? Jesus stood at attention with his hands behind his back and replied, 2 days. The man kept his eyes on the newspaper and said, 2 days. That's right. After 2 days, go to the East Regional Police Station in Gangjin. Suddenly, being transferred made him agitated, and he raised his voice. Why am I suddenly being transferred to the regional police station? The chief answered his question. This is an order from above. That's why you should have behaved properly before. What's the use of catching a serial killer? Your nickname is the cop who specializes in excessive force. What's that? Aren't you ashamed? The protagonist was still in disbelief. From above, then he told himself, I've never been ashamed of any of my actions. The law has many shortcomings, so I have to suppress criminals with such force. The amount of bribes that scumbag received could fill a truck. It's just a pity I couldn't gather all the evidence before. To suddenly be told to leave after working here for 5 years, and even to be transferred to the regional police station, is actually a demotion. His anger reached its peak, and even though he clenched his fists, they wouldn't stop trembling, which even the police chief noticed. The old man gestured with his hand. What? What are you going to do? Get back to work. Hurry up. Jesus bowed his head and replied, Yes, sir. He swallowed all the bitterness. He walked out of the room with a heart full of thoughts. Gangjin City. If I go there, I'll have to pay several times more in compensation fees. And finding my father's killer will become even harder. 2 days later, the taxi stopped in front of the police station. Jesus got out with a backpack on his shoulder. He looked around and made a mental assessment. This regional police station is bigger than the others, probably because there are more cases. As soon as he stepped inside, the loud voice of a middle-aged man rang out. Damn it. I hit him first, but that bastard cursed my mother first. The police officer quickly calmed him down. Sir, please calm down. The sight made the protagonist sigh wearily. What a mess. It's not even evening, and it's already like this. The man kept complaining. It's all the same. This country is going in the wrong direction. The responsibility for my life. At this point, he couldn't hold it in anymore and vomited. A female officer rushed over with a plastic bag in horror. Don't puke on the chair. Here's a bag. Puke in this. Jesus also understood a few things. Is this why they told me to come in for the afternoon shift on my first day instead of the morning shift? Seeing an unfamiliar face here made the girl curious. What are you doing here? He introduced himself. I am Lieutenant Shin Jesus. I'll be transferring here starting today. Before he could finish his sentence, the drunk man vomited right on the protagonist's leg, his hands desperately clinging to the young man. The chaotic scene made the female officer rush away. What should I do? Please wait a moment. The bad impression here made Jesus frown. He thought about this place. Gangjin City has the highest number of reported incidents in the province, the highest number of serious crimes, and the highest number of police officers injured in the line of duty. These things only brought them shame, and they didn't want to publicize them. A place that had achieved the national trifecta of shame, the place known as the Gotham City of Korea. I was assigned to a police station here. A voice came over the radio. This is Baekana. There's a report of a drunk and disorderly at the Pebas intersection, Jeong District. The captain immediately took over and dispatched. Another report. Officer Im. You take this one. Then he looked over at the protagonist. That guy, who came today. He immediately introduced himself. I am Shin Jesus. He told the female officer. All right, go with Lieutenant Shin. The two of them quickly moved to the car. Spoke into the radio. Captain, Jeong District Patrol Team is on it. The GPS immediately sounded. 7 minutes from the crime scene. The voice on the line provided some information. Yes, the female owner of the bar is there with a bloody head. And there's a staff member too. The new developments surprised Jesus. Why is everything so modern? It's only been a few years, but things have changed so much. The girl also noticed the surprise on his face and took the initiative to explain. Receiving case reports directly in the patrol car has only just started recently. Gangjin was the first place to implement it. The protagonist immediately understood. I see. Sensing that the other person had no more questions, CA started the police car. Then let's go. With that, she immediately floored it and expertly drove off. Jesus sat in the passenger seat, his face pale with fear, clutching the handle on the car ceiling in a panic. What kind of driving is this? He couldn't help but ask CA directly. Do you always drive like this? The female officer just smiled and said, Did I surprise you? Sorry. Finally, they arrived at the given location, and in front was a crowd of onlookers. The girl opened the car door and asked, Is this the place? These crazy people. Inside, a waiter was being kicked by a despicable man who sneered. Try resisting one more time. Sia rushed straight in and yelled, Hey, you guys. The two men who reeked of alcohol turned to look. Oh, little sister is here. Come over here and have a drink, little sister. The girl smirked contemptuously. These scumbags. When she turned around to look, the sight made her freeze. The female waitress lay motionless in a pool of blood. Sia gritted her teeth in fury. Them. She was about to rush forward, but an arm held her back. Jesus stepped forward and instructed, "Officer Im, call an ambulance now." The other person immediately obeyed. "Yes, I know." He approached with a ferocious expression, but the bald man remained arrogant. "Hey, what are you doing here?" His drinking buddy smashed a bottle on the table. He pointed the sharp edge at the protagonist. "Get lost, you bastard. Back off if you don't want to die." With a police officer's instinct, he quickly caught his opponent's wrist and slammed him down on the table. The sudden pain made the man scream. My hand. My hand." The bald man, who hadn't shed a tear at the sight of the coffin, charged forward with his fists. This bastard." Jesus quickly dodged and raised his hand. Grabbing the drunk man's collar, he slammed both of their heads into the ground. He pressed their heads together. "You are officially under arrest for aggravated assault, assaulting a police officer, obstruction of business, and sexual harassment. You have the right to an attorney and a chance to explain yourselves." The problem was solved in an instant, which left CA so stunned she was wide-eyed and open-mouthed. The phone rang with a voice from the other end. "This is 119. How can I help you?" The girl refocused. "This is the Pebas intersection in Jijong district. Please send an ambulance." Time passed, and the ambulance arrived. The paramedics gave first aid to the victim, and the drunkards were arrested by the police. CA reported the victim's condition to Jesus. Luckily, the owner is fine. The employee has a few bruises but no serious injuries. He smiled happily. "That's a relief." The girl continued. "Thanks to Lieutenant Shin, everything went more smoothly than I thought. We're heading back to the station soon." The radio crackled again. "This is Baekana. There's a missing person report in the Yongsu area. Is there a patrol car available?" Sia gave a helpless smile. "The work in our district never stops." "Right." Then she reported back. Patrol team responding. The radio replayed the caller's statement. "I went out for a drink with my friend. While I was in the bathroom, my friend went missing. My friend was so drunk, she just sat down on the spot, but I don't know where she went. What should I do? Please find her quickly." Jesus was surprised. A missing person case. The two of them quickly arrived at the scene. A brown-haired girl was sobbing hysterically. "I told her at the bar that if she went home, she had to call right away." CA asked about the situation. "Did she interact with any strangers while drinking?" The girl wiped her tears with her hand. "Yes. She was very drunk. There's no way she could have gone anywhere by herself." The female officer jotted down useful information and then announced, "We'll check the CCTV first." The two of them led the caller to the camera room. The footage showed a drunk girl being led away by a strange man. "Oh, there she is. What happened?" Sia turned and asked. "So that's the missing person's boyfriend. Isn't that someone you know?" The girl's eyes widened in surprise. "She doesn't have a boyfriend. That's so weird." The two police officers were also surprised. Sia immediately reported it over the radio. "This is the patrol team. The missing person report in the Yongsu area has been changed to a kidnapping case requesting assistance. The suspect is wearing a black hoodie and jeans." The person on the other end quickly assigned, "This is the patrol car responding from the Yongsu area. If she's not in a car, she must be nearby. Check the hotels. Karaoke bars. Team 201 will be coming to assist. Keep an eye on the patrol car's route." Jesus thought about this famous police team. Team 201 is the #1 major crimes unit at the police station. Because rape cases are classified as Code 0, the major crimes unit has to participate as well. The 2-block haircut guy from the unit quickly arrived at the scene. "I'm from the station. From now on, we'll be taking over this case. You two just need to search the karaoke bars." He quickly acknowledged the order. "Yes. All right." Sia started to walk away, her face showing her curiosity. "Why aren't we searching the hotels?" Jesus quickly answered. "Another patrol team is already searching the hotels. The rule in missing person cases is to check the most likely places first, either in terms of finances or number of people." The girl immediately understood. "Oh, I see." Then she looked over at the lit-up karaoke bar. "We'll start here." The rundown appearance made Sia suspicious. "Is this place still in business?" He bravely led the way. "Let's go inside and check." The protagonist thought to himself. In missing person and kidnapping cases, time is life. Sia opened the door to a room, startling 3 men who were happily singing. "What the hell? What are the police doing here?" The girl quickly backed out. "Sorry." Jesus was still carefully searching each room. "She must be around here somewhere." He glanced around. His eyes landed on a young man. He pretended to walk calmly. Black hoodie and jeans. Jesus called out softly, "Hey, mister. Wait a minute." The suspect immediately panicked and ran. "Damn it." He rushed forward without hesitation. Shit. Report it now. See. A quickly reported over the radio. This is the patrol team. The suspect has been spotted fleeing the karaoke bar. The protagonist was running in a hurry. Suddenly, he stopped and turned to look. A large pool of fresh blood on the floor. He immediately shouted, Officer Im, call an ambulance now. Hurry. Then he pressed his hand firmly on the wound to stop the excessive bleeding. IA entered and was so scared she almost threw up. She immediately took out her phone. The location is... The girl held the club in her hand. She slowly observed what was ahead. Haesu quickly stopped her. Don't go. The area upstairs is surrounded by police anyway. He'll be caught sooner or later. Just report the suspect's direction of flight over the radio. Sia immediately followed his instructions. Yes. I understand. Then she turned on her radio. Patrol team reporting. It's highly likely the suspect fled south from the call or not call karaoke bar. He thought about the dangerous situation. Chasing a murderer with a weapon alone. This is something that even veteran major crimes detectives wouldn't dare to do because another victim could appear in an instant. If I had just been 1 minute earlier. No. 30 seconds. The victim might have been saved. If I had investigated from the outside and from the beginning, if there hadn't been a scuffle with the drunk customers, if I hadn't yelled at the karaoke bar owner, who loudly claimed this was obstruction of business. Then, Haesu buried his face in his hands, helpless in the face of the girl's tragic and unsavable death. He tried to calm himself down. He found himself back in the car. This time, he was less disoriented. I'm back again. Back to before the accident. The protagonist focused on his calculations. If I go straight to the scene now, I'll have enough time to fix my mistakes. Then he pointed to a small alley. Officer Im. Go that way. The girl looked confused. What? Why are we going that way? The young man couldn't come up with an answer for a moment. If I say it's a hunch, it sounds a bit ridiculous. Then he analyzed. Let's assume the perpetrator doesn't have a car. He probably went to a place not too far from the scene of the disappearance, and where he wouldn't be noticed. There's a karaoke bar in that alley too. Right. Sia was still a bit surprised. Yes. Then she turned in the direction he pointed. Is this criminal psychology? Haesu answered shyly. Ah, yes. If I want to catch criminals, I have no choice but to study. Let's go. Before leaving the car, Haesu didn't forget to remind her. Did you bring bullets? The girl hesitated a bit. Who? I have my taser. The protagonist continued. Then get that out. The two of them, fully equipped, started their mission. He showed his badge to the owner. We're looking for a kidnapping suspect. Please cooperate. Owner, please lock the door and wait outside. Immediately, he followed in fear. Yes. Haesu looked over his shoulder. Officer Im, wait by the back door and have your taser ready. The girl carefully held the weapon in her hands and replied, Yes. The protagonist took a deep breath. He reached out and grabbed the doorknob. If things repeat exactly as they did in the past, then he's definitely in here. Before he could open the door, curses were heard from inside. Stay still, you bitch. He immediately threw the door open. He let go of the victim in a panic. A cop. The criminal immediately swung a sharp knife. Haesu quickly brought up his leg, jumped high, and kicked the man straight in the face. He stumbled to the ground. His eyes rolled back. The protagonist quickly restrained the suspect's hands. You're officially under arrest for kidnapping, attempted rape, and assault in the act. And if you don't cooperate, I'll cut your mouth. With his other hand, he pulled out his handcuffs. CA was momentarily unsure what to do. Lieutenant Shin, Haesu then instructed her. Report it over the radio and call for an ambulance. The girl pulled out her radio and started to report. Patrol team reporting. We've apprehended the kidnapper at the call or not call karaoke bar. The two police officers led him into the car, relentlessly taunting him. Hey, you look pathetic. Your arm is broken too. Isn't that a bit unreasonable? The young man in the suit crossed his arms and scowled. He deserves to be beaten to death. This bastard just got out of prison 2 days ago for rape and murder. He only served 10 years because he was mentally unstable. Maybe the punishment wasn't enough. Now he'll be in prison for life. The two of them were shocked. He's a real monster. I heard he even carries a drill to kill people. It's a good thing we caught him before something serious happened. The other police officers all gathered around and praised Haesu. He saved a life. Good work. The young man in the suit held out his hand. You've worked hard. The protagonist amicably shook his hand. Everything was finally over, and the police car returned to the station. Sia was still in disbelief. How on earth did you solve the case so perfectly in one go? Is this a police officer's intuition? The question made Haesu a bit flustered. My mind is already a mess, and now it's even worse. I don't know how to answer this. If I say I saw it in the future, I'll definitely be considered crazy. Then he turned and made up a reason. It was just luck. Finally, the protagonist could get off work and go home to rest. He took a shower after a long and tiring day. His heart was still filled with unease. It was still so vivid. The feeling in my hand as I stopped the blood from gushing out of the victim's neck still lingers. This wasn't a dream or a what if. It happened not once but twice. How is this even possible? Just a little. If only I'd arrived just a little bit sooner. Assault or murder? Confession. The scene. Confession alone isn't enough. There has to be an incident in between, and also time. At first it was a few months. But this time I returned to about an hour before at the scene. There must be some kind of rule. I need to figure it out quickly. A new day began. The door to the police station suddenly opened. A beautiful girl with jet black hair walked in with confidence. The guard asked quietly, "What are you doing here?" She glanced around and asked, "Is Lieutenant Shin-Hae-soo here?" Then she rushed straight towards him. To the surprise of the officer, "Wait a moment." The protagonist politely introduced himself. "I am Shin-Hae-soo." The other person immediately bowed 90 degrees and said loudly, "Thank you for yesterday." Hae-soo was momentarily speechless. He shyly replied, "I was just doing my job." The girl smiled faintly. "Yes." She held a paper bag shyly in both hands. Her demeanor caught his attention. "Do you have something to say?" She hesitated slightly. "Well," the officer behind him understood the situation. "Lieutenant Shin, it's okay. Go outside and talk for a bit. Don't be so rigid with someone who wants to show their gratitude." Hae-soo immediately replied, "Yes, sir." Then he led the way. "Let's go outside." The girl offered him a paper bag filled with coffee cups. "I didn't buy much. The police station has more people than I thought, so I couldn't give it to you inside. Expensive things would violate the law, so The protagonist was a bit flustered. "You don't have to do that." The girl was determined not to take it back. "Please accept it. I'm really grateful for yesterday. Again." "Thank you," Hae-soo quickly reminded her. "Alcohol, you should only drink enough to stay in control." She quickly explained. "I didn't mean to drink so much. It was because I failed an exam." The young man warned her once more. "Be careful from now on." The girl rubbed her neck and stammered. "Yes, but something feels a little strange." Hae-soo frowned in confusion. "What do you mean?" The other person then recounted everything. "I thought I had died from being stabbed with a drill. But when I woke up, there were no wounds. It was like it never happened. But it was so vivid." The statement shocked the young man. "She remembers. Does she still have memories of that time?" The girl looked apologetic. "Sorry, I've said something absurd. Haven't I? Anyway, thank you for saving me," Hae-soo politely replied. "It was nothing. It was my job." The two of them fell into a silent pause. He bowed to say goodbye. "Since I'm on duty, I'll be heading back in now." The other person cheered him on. "Yes. Good luck." The protagonist was confused. "Good luck." The girl smiled, turned, and walked away. The image of the killer attacking with a weapon appeared again. She closed her eyes to calm herself down. Finally, she walked in the opposite direction. Hae-soo watched the girls receding back. If the memories of the previous incident are still overlapping, it will surely be difficult to overcome in just one day. While patrolling the area, the radio crackled. "This is Baek-hana, playground near Baek-ha apartment building in Yongsu district. This is a report from a student." He thought about the specialized vocabulary. A report from a student usually refers to misconduct, such as delinquent students smoking, drinking, or causing a disturbance. The police car immediately turned around. Patrol team responding. At the park, a group of people were talking. "That weirdo looks so disgusting. It's so annoying. Just the sight of him pisses me off." So observed from a distance, feeling annoyed. "They really threw a big party, didn't they?" At that moment, the girl sitting on the young man's lap spoke up. "Mr. Officer." The guy in the blue shirt turned his head and exclaimed, "Oh, it's a cop." He slowly approached and asked, "Where did you buy the alcohol and cigarettes?" The brown-haired girl coquettishly said, "Mr. Officer, do you have a girlfriend?" The black-haired girl explained, "She took it all from my house. Her family owns a convenience store." She quickly turned and said, "Shut up." Then she switched to a pleading tone. "Anyway, we know we were wrong. We'll clean this place up and leave immediately. Please let us off this one time." The boy in the white shirt next to her also spoke up. "We've been stressed out from studying so much." Sia leaned close to Hae-soo's ear and whispered, "It doesn't seem like anything serious. Should we just get their names and send them home? The protagonist turned and gestured. Then he glared at the students. Slowly, he bent down. The brown-haired girl pointed down at herself with an amused tone. Who? What's wrong? You want to look here. But the other person was cold. Move. She turned red with anger. What? What did you tell me to do? This fake cop is crazy. Hey, are you recording? The protagonist didn't answer and used his hand to push her aside. Underneath the bench, a female student was curled up with cuts and bruises all over her skin. Sue called out softly. Student, you need to come out. The girl knew she was being rescued and pushed herself up. Slowly, she stood up, her uninjured arm supporting the other. They burst out laughing. Look at her. She's so funny. She's a jungle person. A jungle person. Sue asked the bullied girl. Student, did these students do this? The other person bit her lip hard with a hint of fear. The brown-haired girl answered for her. She said she dropped a coin. Sia was angry. Lieutenant Shin, I'm transferring this case to the Major Crimes Unit. They aren't minors. They have to be held accountable. I'll contact them on the radio. He frowned and replied. Yes. Then call. The bullied student suddenly shouted. I fell down the stairs. I fell on my own. So please go away. The bullies applauded and cheered. So cool, Yuri. You tore it. Awesome. That's right. That bitch fell on her own. Sue was speechless. He looked at them with a hateful expression and thought, in this situation, there's nothing else to be done. No matter what the situation is. If the victim doesn't want to press charges, nothing can be done. At the apartment complex, some of the lights were already out. Sia helped the student home. Sue glanced around. Her house is near the playground. To have this happen right outside her door, the place that's supposed to be the safest, he called out her name softly. Yuri. The girl looked over in surprise. Sue offered her a card. When you have the courage to ask for help, contact me immediately. Nothing can be resolved without your own will. The student looked down at the paper thoughtfully. Then she went inside and slammed the door. A few days later at a store, there was a loud clamor. Rice wine. Bring rice wine and pancakes. A store employee replied. See ya. This is a fast food restaurant, so we don't have those things. The drunk man threw money and yelled. I have money. Hey, don't look down on me. Look, I have a lot of money, right? So give me rice wine. Sue calmly intervened. Sir, you can't do that here. Let's go outside. Then he said to C.A. Officer M, please pick up the money for me. She replied. Yes, sir. The drunk man struggled. Who are you? The cook. Where's the rice wine? The protagonist quickly slipped his arm in front and locked it. Come with me quickly. The other person immediately resisted. What is it, you punk? Do you know who I am? At that moment, Sue received a phone call. This is Lieutenant Shin Sue. The other end was silent. The man started to vomit. I'll take responsibility with the police chief and your relatives. The protagonist looked puzzled. I'm listening. Please speak. The store employee was terrified. Sir. Oh my god, why would you do that here? Sue pulled him up straight. Let's go outside first. One hand supporting the man, the other holding his phone. He guessed. It's probably just a regular spam call. He decided to call back, but only got the operator's voice. The person you are trying to reach is unavailable. The call will be forwarded to voicemail. Sia was curious. Why is that? The young man smiled and said, It's nothing. Let's go back. The girl replied softly. Yes, sir. The police car rolled along the long road, and Sia complained tiredly. Today was really exhausting. After solving 3 cases in a row, Sue turned to her. That's right. Let's go inside and rest quickly. Suddenly, the radio announced. This is Baekha Apartments, Yongsu District. Report of someone jumping to their death. The two of them looked at each other tensely. At the scene, people were gossiping. What are we going to do? Will the housing prices go down? Oh my god, it's horrible. How could a young person do that? The protagonist held his phone and tried to push through. Police, please step aside. The sight in front of him terrified him. A red hairpin lay on the ground. Sue was so shocked he dropped his phone. Startling CA. Commander Sheen. The protagonist was still in shock. Yuri called me. The current time is 21:37. The time the report was received was 21:03. The time of the call was 20:38. It's been less than an hour. Please, this time too. Then he cracked one eye open. He was back in the store. The money falling to the ground, along with the drunk man's voice. Bring rice wine here. The employee was flustered. Sia, why are you doing this here? He pointed at Sue and asked, Who are you? Are you the cook? Why aren't you saying anything? What about the rice wine? Then he collapsed to the ground. He answered his phone. This is Lieutenant Shin Hei-soo. The other end was still silent. Hei-soo handed the man a paper bag. The other person took it and repeatedly vomited into it. He asked softly, "Is this Yuri?" The girl stammered, "Yes." The protagonist looked over at CA and pointed down at the man. "Officer Im. This one's yours." Then he turned back to the student. "Stay where you are. Don't hang up the phone. I'm on my way there now." The police car started to roll. Hei-soo gripped the steering wheel tightly. "Have you eaten dinner yet?" "It's late," Yuri replied slowly. "No." Hei-soo was worried. "Is there anything you want to eat?" But the other person was silent. That made the young man even more tense. "Yuri, is there something you want to say? Please say it. I'll help you." The student immediately refused. "No. I just misdialed it." The protagonist panicked for a moment and shouted, "Who? No, Yuri. Wait a minute. Yuri. Don't hang up." The car started to accelerate and speed up. A moment later, he was standing in front of the elevator. Hei-soo stared intently, not taking his eyes off it. He warily looked toward the staircase. He decided to take the stairs to save time, just a little more. The protagonist dashed to Yuri's home. He pounded on the door. "Yuri, open the door." He looked anxiously at his phone. "Answer the phone. Please answer." He put his ear to the door but heard no sound. He continued to rush around looking for the girl. He opened the door to the rooftop. Hei-soo glanced around, searching for any sign of Yuri. He stepped forward and looked down at the parking lot, his heart filled with panic. Where on earth is Ham Yuri? The elevator announcement chimed softly. 14th floor. Doors opening. Yuri was huddled in a corner. Seeing Hia, he breathed a sigh of relief. The girl looked a little surprised to see the protagonist. "Mr. Officer," he smiled gently and held out his hand. "That call. You did the right thing." It was past 11 at night. Hei-soo led the girl back. "When will your father be home?" Yuri sat across from him and replied shyly, "After work. Around 12 at night." The protagonist sat upright. "I see. That's pretty late." The two of them fell into a silent moment. He tried to find a topic. "Can I assume Yuri called because you found the courage to ask for help?" The girl held her head. "I don't know. I just don't know. Honestly, I don't trust anyone. I tried telling a teacher, but the school didn't do anything. They even said it was useless to report it to the police, and that they had filmed me, and if I reported them, they would spread my information. But even so, you said you could help me, right, Mr. Officer?" Hei-soo reassured her. "Yuri, the police aren't as useless as you think. Look at how I came here right away. Will you trust me this one time?" She turned her head away. "Are you a conservative person?" The question surprised the protagonist. "Who?" He was confused. "A conservative? In what way?" Yuri clenched her fists. She gathered all her courage and asked, "Can you save me?" Hei-soo smiled and answered, "Yes. Of course." The girl bowed her head, frowned, and bit her lip. He raised his hand and made a pinky promise. "Come on. I promise." Yuri also raised her hand in response, as if placing all her trust in the young man. After leaving, Hei-soo answered an incoming call. "Captain, it's me." The person on the line exclaimed, "You're at the Gangjin station, but you still answer my calls." The protagonist's tone was one of asking a favor. "Are you busy right now?" The captain was curious. "Who? What? What is it?" "I am busy," Hei-soo reported. "I know you're busy, but please take on a case. It's a school violence case in the Yongsu area." The other person was surprised. The Yongsu area is under the jurisdiction of the Gangjin station. The young man pleaded. "The case hasn't been officially accepted yet. Please take it." The captain was helpless. "This kid." Go on. A few days later at the school, outside the classroom door, the delinquent students were laughing and talking. "Our precious lunch break, and we keep getting called over and over. Let's just lie and leave. Anyway, that old lady is so annoying." Churi brazenly walked in, hands in her pockets, with a defiant tone. "Teacher, why did you call us?" "Who? What's this?" "Ham Yuri, you're at school." Yuri grabbed the teacher's arm and trembled. "Hey, you haven't been beaten up lately, so your face looks pretty good, huh?" The one in the green jacket spoke up. "What are you doing now? If you're at school, you should greet us first." Yuri bowed her head in fear. "You guys, why are you talking like that in front of the teacher?" A guy in black stepped forward and said, "So what? You got something to say?" The teacher answered sternly. "Yuri has reported the school violence to the police. The incident will now be officially investigated. Before the investigation, I wanted to call you all in to talk. Everything is being recorded, so please mind your words and actions. First, hand over your phones here. The long-haired girl was angry. What? What are you doing? Police. Investigation is so scary. Recording. Turn it off. That threatening attitude made Yuri sweat with fear. The guy in black slammed his hand on the desk, making the girl jump. Hey, what did we do to you that you reported us? Churi raised her hand to slap Yuri. Haven't you had enough of a beating yet? But she was stopped by the teacher who stood up. Kang Churi, what are you doing right now? Don't you see a teacher is here? The jet black-haired girl covered her mouth and laughed. A teacher hitting a student. The gray-haired boy beside her added, Hey, should we call the police? Churi yanked her hand back. You touched me first, right? Then she turned her head in annoyance and said to the guy in black, What are you doing? He scowled and cracked his knuckles. We should resolve this with words. Why hit a student like that? He directly grabbed the teacher's hair. Teacher, this is self-defense. Just grit your teeth and bear it. The teacher yelled, Damn it. Let go of me. She closed her eyes tightly in fear. At that moment, a large, familiar hand threw the door open. The guy in black stopped and glanced back. What is it? That bastard. Jesus gritted his teeth in anger. How dare you do that to a teacher? I have to teach you a lesson. As he finished speaking, he lunged forward and locked the boy's arm. His other hand pressed against his shoulder joint. He shoved him forward, making him fall face first. You're going to lose your teeth. The students were shocked. Who is this now? Jesus said loudly. Hello there. First time seeing the cop known for excessive force. Right. Churi panicked and shouted. Are you crazy? Are you really a cop? Police. Call the police. He turned and tossed the phone away. I am the police. Officer Im. Confiscate the phones of these perpetrators. The girl took the order and caught the phone. Yes, sir. Then she quickly moved towards Churi and her friends. If you don't want to be forced, hand them over. Churi turned red with anger and cursed. What is this? Why don't you go somewhere else? I'm going to report all of you. Officer Im said nothing more and directly snatched the phone from her hand. She sternly held out her hand to the remaining friend. You too, student. Hurry up, the black-haired girl grumbled unhappily. Are the police allowed to do this? The police looked at the phones on the table with suspicion. 5 people but 7 phones. Jesus walked up to Yuri and seriously investigated. Yuri, are these 5, all of them? The girl quietly replied. Yes, that's right. A furious Churi charged forward. Yuri. You crazy bitch. Before her hand could reach the girl, it was stopped by another hand. CA twisted her arm, making her angry. Let go. What are you doing? Suddenly, the classroom door opened. The principal walked in calmly with her arms crossed. What is going on in my school right now? If you want to investigate students, shouldn't you formally request cooperation from the school? The homeroom teacher turned red with anger. She shot up and let out all her frustrations. I've told you many times, but you keep ignoring me. The principal immediately snapped back. Teacher Kim, do you know how much people like you have tarnished this school's reputation? Churi ran to the principal's side and whined. Grandmother. That person twisted my wrist. The woman frowned slightly. You dare touch my granddaughter? The two of them began to panic when Jesus turned back and asked Yuri, Did you get a clear shot? The girl, hiding the phone in her palm, had recorded the whole incident. Yes, the woman's face was a warning. What? What are you recording? Give it to me immediately. Jesus seriously reported the entire situation to the school. The Ministry of Education will be inspecting Sungyung's school today. I've only just started digging into your willful ignorance of school violence and it's already filthy. Leaked exam questions. Unfair award distribution. Controversies about eligibility for competitions. Soon the criminal division of the Gangjin police station will also be investigating. Don't destroy evidence and increase your sentence. Please cooperate honestly. Madame Principal. The principal was stunned and asked, What? What are you talking about? What's all this now? I have nothing to be ashamed of. I'm a respectable person. Jesus took the folder of evidence and put it in a sealed bag. We will be taking this now. The principal's voice called after them. Hey, wait a minute. Ignoring her calls, the police team and Yuri left the classroom. Then let's all meet at the police station. Students from other classes crowded the hallway to watch the drama. Aren't those people police officers? What? Is Kang Churi done for now? The principal peeked out of the classroom door intending to chase them, but seeing so many students, she just shouted. What is this? What are you all doing out of class? Seeing Teacher Kim's uneasy expression, Jesus asked. Teacher, Are you really okay? All the criticism might fall on you because you didn't discipline your students well. The teacher gave a forced smile. It's all right. This is something I've prepared for. Then she turned to look at her student Yuri. Because I was also lacking and Yuri gave me that courage. So now I will also stand up and fight. The girl was moved and took her teacher's hand, softly calling, "Teacher." The group of 5 had been committing school violence for a long time. And during that time, the principal had covered it up so well, they never thought to destroy the evidence. So before the confiscated phones could even be analyzed, evidence of violence and abuse was everywhere. The police had drafted a news article, and Heisu asked for her opinion. Yuri, do you really want to post this? Even if you hide or run away, now the news will spread quickly. Can you handle it? The girl nodded her head. Yes. Please post it. He decisively clicked the mouse and published the article. All right, the article was posted, and the video immediately went viral. In the comments, many people left curses and insults for those students. Famous YouTubers shared the video, and dozens of articles were published. After a few days, there was even a petition. People on the street all read the article and were indignant. These pieces of trash should all be thrown in jail. And after that tumultuous period, a few days later at the police station, the delinquent students were summoned to the station. The door slowly opened. Heisu walked in and taunted. It's only been a few days, and everyone looks so much brighter. They couldn't help but mutter angrily. So annoying. He turned his head and called, "Come in." Yuri timidly stepped in. Trembling, the group burst out wailing. Yuri. Yuri, I was wrong. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me just once. Just this once. I'm begging you. The jet black-haired girl stood up and pointed at Churi to accuse her. Yuri, actually, I never wanted to hit you. You know, it was all Kang Churi's fault. That bitch made me do it. If I didn't hit you, that bitch would have hit me. I'm a victim too. She angrily turned and yelled when she was sold out. Hey, shut your mouth. Then she knelt down and begged. Yuri. Yuri. I really regret it. I will live the rest of my life in repentance. So please, just this once. Just once. Can't we compromise? The girl was a little flustered. Churi. Seeing Yuri's expression soften, continued. Yuri. You understand my feelings, right? Actually, it's because I wanted to get closer to you, but I didn't know how. Now, though, these rotten words made the student give a contemptuous smile. Just because of people like this. But she held it back, as tears rolled down her cheeks. That's enough now. I will absolutely not compromise. Her decisiveness impressed Heisu. All right, you've been through a lot. The lead girl lost it and screamed. Hey, you bitch. Yuri couldn't take it anymore and pushed Churi away. She fell to the ground with a thud. The girl glared at her and walked away, leaving the other girl sitting on the ground furiously screaming insults. The investigation concluded quickly, and as it was a case that had garnered significant public interest, all 5 participants were sentenced to prison. The ringleader Kang Churi and her boyfriend Kim Yeon-suk were sentenced to 3 years in prison. Many instances of corruption at Sungkyung School were exposed, and the principal, vice-principal, and related teachers were nearly all dismissed. Heisu just closed his locker and was about to head out. He zipped up his jacket as he walked. Yuri, with a new look, had been waiting for a while, which surprised the protagonist. You cut your hair. Yuri. The girl introduced the man beside her. You're so sharp. Oh, this is my father. Yuri's father, both polite and shy, scratched his head and held out his hand to introduce himself. I'm Yuri's father. Heisu also politely shook his hand and greeted him. Yes, I am Lieutenant Shin Heisu. The man's tone was sincere. Officer, thank you. Really thank you. It's all my fault. She's my only daughter, but because of my busy job, I couldn't take care of her. Heisu kindly comforted him. Just take good care of her from now on. Besides, it's not your fault. The students who did this are the bad guys. It was dark, and the houses were lit up. Heisu wrote in his journal, in my 6 returns to the past, I've discovered some rules. Time will return to exactly 60 minutes prior. Except for the first time. It can only happen at the scene. And the condition is that the victim must die or suffer a crippling injury. It can only be used once a day. And the ability is activated as soon as I think of the trigger word. The keyword I've chosen is reset. If the victim is conscious during the reset, they will retain their previous memories. He touched his forehead thoughtfully. I don't know why I have this ability. I need to learn more about this ability. The sky was blue and the sun was bright. Heisu looked at a commemorative photo with sadness. Today marks 12 years since my father, my only relative, left this world. That day was the day I came home after a fight. The elevator announced, You have arrived at the 7th floor. Doors are opening. An angry expression followed him home. He accidentally ran into a mysterious man. Heisu recounted. And it was the day I ran into that guy. The naive student at the time couldn't help but be confused. What? Who is this person? I immediately sensed something. If I had hesitated, I would have definitely been in big trouble. I tried to ignore that inexplicable unease until I entered my house. My father had passed away. The case was quickly closed. I went to find a lawyer to handle it, but to no avail because there was no sign of murder. My weak pleas were also drowned out. He thought back to that meal. His father was still happy and smiling. Hey Sue. Let's go fishing this weekend. The protagonist, while munching on a chicken leg, answered. Fishing? Sure. His agreement made his father very excited. Great. You promised. I'll definitely catch you a really big fish. He urged. All right. Hurry up and eat, Dad. Jesus stood before his father's memorial photo and clenched his fist. My father was definitely not the type of person to contemplate suicide. Someone who intends to commit suicide doesn't make plans to go fishing with his son. There was only one clue that this was a murder. And that was the look in that man's eyes that I saw. And now I've become a police officer who catches criminals, but I still can't find any evidence in the files. And the surveillance footage from that time has also been deleted. Eyes like a monster. Unable to stop killing. I believe that if I continue to investigate murders, I will surely meet him. And with this miraculous ability, I will definitely get back to the major crimes unit. That evening, at a convenience store, Jesus opened the door and walked in. Hello, but there was no one inside, which surprised him. Where did the owner go? He wandered around a few aisles alone. Instant noodles again today. His foot accidentally stepped on something on the floor. He looked down to see the store owner lying on the cold ground. The protagonist softly called out, Owner. Realizing something was wrong, Jesus quickly pressed his ear to his chest. His heartbeat and breathing are so weak, and I don't see any signs of violence. He immediately picked up the phone and made a call. I am Lieutenant Shin Jesus from the East Regional Police Station. Please hurry. Then he immediately started chest compressions. Owner. Open your eyes. He couldn't help but be confused. How could someone who's always been healthy suddenly? The news on television was reporting today's lottery results. The winning numbers for the Daihan Bank Lottery, number 1006, are 33, 28, 7, 17, 43, 45. He looked up at the television, then back at the old man. Could it be? He looked at the lottery ticket in the store owner's hand. Jesus' eyes widened as he stared at the string of numbers. Ah, winner. That's a first prize ticket. Did he die of shock from winning the lottery? With this money, I could pay off the compensation and debt from the excessive force cases. 60 million won will be paid out. I don't know if the owner will live or not. He nervously scanned all of the store's camera systems. Plus, he died in a CCTV blind spot, so no one would find out. He ran his hands through his hair in a frenzy. Focusing. Just close my eyes once. Just once. Jesus quickly calmed himself down. What am I thinking? Think again. Think again. I've already called 119. So let's try again. I've memorized the numbers on this lottery ticket. Just this once. Turn back. Finally, he had returned. Jesus realized. All right. I'm back again. The clock read 7:52, which made him panic. Damn it. The deadline to buy a lottery ticket is 8 p.m. If I want to save the owner too, please let there be one nearby. His eyes landed on a lottery shop. There it is. Jesus swerved the car to the other side of the road. Unfortunately, his car collided with another car coming up. The two cars scraped against each other, and the other driver yelled, Hey, you crazy bastard. The owner of the orange car got out to look at his vehicle. You son of a bitch. Jesus also got out and rushed into the store. Wait. Then he dashed in to make it in time. He burst in and called out loudly. Lottery tickets. The employee was also startled by his actions. Jesus hurriedly held it out and urged, I want to buy this one. The employee calmly replied, Yes, sir. He didn't forget to joke. It seems the customer is from the future. He just turned his head and gave a forced smile. Then he rushed out of the shop again. However, he had to face the people from the other car, who angrily cursed him. What are you doing, you bastard? Do you have to pee that bad? How are we supposed to handle this? He politely gave them his contact information. I'm in a hurry, so please handle it through insurance and contact me. They were stunned and shouted in disbelief. What? Hey, where are you going? Are you crazy? That bastard. Jesus ran with his head down and called back. Sorry. Be sure to contact me. He just drove off, leaving a mess behind. What is this? What was that? That bastard is a cop. Jesus arrived just in time to check the numbers at the shop. The last number is 47. Congratulations to the winners. He rejoiced silently. The timing is almost perfect. It must be over there. The store owner was collapsed on the floor, clutching his chest and struggling to breathe. Jesus saw this and rushed over. "Sia." He immediately started chest compressions on the victim. A paramedic's voice rang out. "This is the ambulance team. Where is the patient?" Jesus yelled, "Here. It's a heart attack." Then he pulled down the owner's zipper. The next day at the convenience store, the man gratefully held his hand. "I heard you saved me. Thank you. Really thank you." Jesus was politely modest. "No. I should be the one thanking you. Thank you for being alive." The kind owner smiled. "You must talk so cute because you're a cop. Actually, I won the first prize. My heart wasn't good back then. The money almost swallowed my life whole. This time the prize is up to 3 billion won. I have no wife or kids. I was going to die anyway, so the money has no value." With that, he handed the lottery ticket to Jesus. "Why don't you take this money?" Money falling from the sky hit him right in the head, making him yell in excitement. "What?" The man repeated himself. "Hurry up and take it. My arm is getting tired." The protagonist hesitated. If it were the old me, I wouldn't have hesitated, even if he saved my life, but now my conscience won't let me do it. Then he kindly took the man's hand. "Sir, you should use this money to enjoy your life. Just enjoy it and you'll find a wife and have kids. You still have a long life ahead of you." But the man stuck to his plan. "Oh, you're a real kidder. Just take it. I really don't need it." Jesus glanced around. "If you absolutely insist on giving me something, then I'll take this." Then he picked up a cup of noodles and a drink. The act left, the man bewildered. "No. Are you an idiot? I just don't understand you at all." He quietly recalled his moment of temptation. "I did the right thing. If I had thought differently back then." Then he bowed to bid the man farewell. "I'll be leaving now. Please don't push yourself too hard." The next day at the Daihan Bank headquarters, Jesus was sitting in the waiting area. His face showed clear impatience. The number display showed number 94. The clerk greeted him warmly. "How may I help you?" "Sia." Jesus pulled the lottery ticket from his jacket pocket. "I'm here to claim my prize money." The female employee began the procedure. "Oh yes. Congratulations, sire. May I have your ID and the lottery ticket, please?" He held the lottery ticket, his hand trembling uncontrollably. The bank employee was shocked. "No way. First prize with 5 numbers." She stammered to Jesus. "Congratulations, sire." She began entering the data into the computer. A strange voice called out, "Are you the prize winner?" "Sire." The protagonist turned his head. A manager greeted him warmly. "Please come this way, sir. I'll assist you." Jesus complained helplessly. "Claiming the prize money is quite complicated." The manager explained in a roundabout way. "This is a special savings account, only for customers depositing over 10 billion won, a 1% interest rate with free withdrawals. If you maintain a balance of 10 billion won or more." Jesus was overwhelmed by the complicated procedures. He couldn't just get the cash at the counter. Instead, he had to listen to proposals from multiple asset and fund managers for a long time. The manager continued his spiel. "The interest rate will increase by 0.1% each year, with a maximum benefit period of 10 years. Jesus put the documents in his bag. "Yes, thank you. Are we done now?" The manager continued to advertise. "Yes, we are. Is this address correct? In the next few days, a VIP gift worth 1 million won will be sent, so we need to confirm it." Jesus asked to leave. "Yes, then I'll be going." The man saw him off. "You are truly a lucky man, sir, winning over half of the prize money." The protagonist turned back and said vaguely, "I had a beautiful dream." Then he turned and left, lost in thought. He must have met many winners before, but this must be a first. Usually there are a dozen or so winners, but this time there were few winners, and the payout was much larger. Can this really be true? 11.4 billion won. With this money, not only can I pay off all my bad debts, but I can also pay off all my loans and still have plenty left. More importantly, to those who aren't afraid of the law, I will show them what the power of authority really is. That evening at the police station, Sia noticed Jesus' mood was a bit different, and asked curiously, "Lieutenant Shin, you seem happier than usual today. Did something good happen?" Jesus shared happily, "I've paid off all my debts." Her eyes sparkled with admiration. "Congratulations. I still have to pay off my apartment loan for another 20 years. He revealed his plans. "I'm going to buy a one-room apartment and rent a place." His colleague was confused. "What?" The protagonist had to explain. This debt was from settlement money. The two finished their work at the station, and as she stepped outside, she felt something was missing. "Hey, but where's Lieutenant Shin's car?" The protagonist replied lightly, "There was a small collision, so I had to scrap the car." a reason that Sia found ridiculous. What? A small collision, and you had to scrap the car. Then get in my car. I'll give you a ride home, but he just walked straight ahead and waved goodbye. It's okay. I want to walk today. See you tomorrow. Sia had to say goodbye to her colleague. Be careful on your way then. The rows of houses were all lit up in the night. Su had rewarded himself generously. It's great to have money. 2 chickens. 1 soy sauce and 1 spicy sauce. Tonight I'm going to eat to my heart's content. He opened the door to his home, but found it wasn't locked. The protagonist sensed that something was wrong. He carefully ducked into a corner by the door, then he slowly opened the door. Inside his house was a group of strange men. Su spoke up. What is this? Who are you guys? One of them threatened. Don't even think about running. Sit down. If you listen, I won't kill you. But the protagonist seemed completely unafraid. I'm really hungry, so before the food gets cold, can I eat my chicken first? The stranger held a knife ready. Chicken. This little punk doesn't seem to get the situation. You want me to wring your neck like a chicken's? Su didn't bother talking anymore and dropped the food bag. Chicken who? So, are you the spicy fried chicken type or the soy sauce chicken? The question confused them. What the hell is this bastard talking about? This son of a bitch is really... With that, he charged forward. Su easily sidestepped and threw a punch to his wrist, making the opponent drop his weapon in pain. His other hand grabbed the man's head. The man was still stubborn. This. Aren't you going to let go? You damn dog. One slap from Su knocked him out completely. He stood tall and asked, Who's next? The bald man swung a wrench. You bastard. He managed to dodge it and landed a punch to his jaw that knocked him unconscious. Only the big guy was left, and he cowered before Su. Then he desperately charged forward with a punch. You bastard. But it didn't even scratch him. He stood firm as a rock, leaving his opponent bewildered. The protagonist calmly wiped the spot he was punched. What's this? Not just weak, but a chicken too. The big guy was terrified. Don't come near me. Su calmly approached. Didn't you just tell me to come here? The other guy stammered. I was wrong. The protagonist showed no mercy and landed a punch to the man's face. The force of the punch sent him crashing into the wall. He was knocked out on the spot. He slowly opened the door. 2 more well-dressed strangers were standing in front of his house. Is it over already? Su had them figured out. The guys inside are your buddies. Right. The 2 men ran in terror. Dumb it. The protagonist leisurely warmed up his hands and feet and dragged the 2 of them into the apartment. The door slammed shut.